want to know what's going on? Well, I just got a surprise gift from my son, and it's not a Christmas present. He made me open it now, and it came with a card. Let's see if I can see it. It says, oh, don't scratch your eye out, pirate. Well, I thought it was going to be a pirate hook or something. He sent me a collar. Shame. I'm not ashamed. It's hilarious. Well, I'm going to take it off. I'll be right back. I got to take it off. I just had to share with you that, you know, he wanted to protect me, I guess. The only thing is the dog wanted it a minute ago, and I forgot to take the collar off, and I couldn't see a thing. I almost poked my eye out on the doorknob. Oh, well, I'll be right back. Well, here we are. It's 1 week since I had my eye surgery, and I kind of waited till today. I wanted to do it yesterday so I could get it all done before Christmas Eve, but I have a big black eye. It was a lot bigger yesterday, but I decided, well, you know what? It's okay if you see a black eye. I mean, I did have surgery, and so I don't have a lot of get up and go. So I decided I'm going to try to get up and go today. And once I got my gift from my son, I thought, oh, this is the day. So I could share that present with you. Okay, so you know what we're doing? My youngest son called and said he needed something to do that would make it feel more like Christmas. And he kind of said it more like this, like, I need something to make it feel like it's not Christmas. Or to keep me from feeling like it's not Christmas. Yeah, it was one of those double negative dooley boppers. And so he wanted my fudge recipe. And I thought, I'll do better than that. Nettie's going to have Cookin with Nettie Day, because we have to do my mom's fudge and my grandma's fudge. And it was called Millionaire Fudge in the day. And it's because it has all these wonderful ingredients in it. And I'm going to show you what they are right now. So here's my recipe, and I'll put that in the I'll put it underneath the subtitles. I'll do that. So you just start out with 4 cups of sugar, and today, you know, before I got Fred to go to the store, because I realized I'd forgotten a few things, I had 2 cups of regular sugar and 2 cups of washed raw sugar, and they measure just the same. So it's 4 cups of sugar, 1 cup of evaporated milk. I already shook it well and opened it. And then a cube of butter. No margarine, it won't work. A cube of butter. And then I use the very best. I use Kerrygold pure Irish butter because, you know, I want to put a little blarney in my fudge. You know, it'll bring me good luck. I'm Irish. And so then you have chopped nuts. And most people put walnuts in it, but I'm allergic to walnuts and I want to eat this stuff. And so I just chop up some toasted almonds, already roasted. And let me show you how I chop those. I'm allergic to walnuts. They make my mouth break out like something else. And so we use roasted almonds. And I use my guacamole chopper from my grandma's collection to chop them up coarsely. We don't need too much, because I like those big chunks of nuts in my fudge. Yeah. Okay. That's about it. We leave those little bits alone. We'll just sweep those away. So Nettie has this pretty easy way of getting the crumbs off of my chopping block here. I'll just show you my little secret. I keep this only for countertops, never on the floor. And then it's washable. It's kind of heavy plastic. So I'll wash it up. So there we go. That just goes in the compost bucket. Isn't that something? Otherwise, I try to sweep it off this big table that goes right on the floor. Now, then we use Nestle's Tollhouse semi-sweet morsels. And if you're boycotting Nestle's, people do that. You know, and I'm okay with that, but I got to tell you why I use only these. And it's part of the good luck stuff. Semi-sweet, a whole package, and then Hershey almond bars. These used to come in 10-ounce bars, and you need 10 ounces of almond Hershey bars, and they only come in 4.25, so I have to buy 3 to get 10 ounces. Ugh. And then you're going to need the Lucky Pan. It's Revere ware that's supposed to be copper, but I believe in a little tarnish. And so, the copper bottom helps cook it just right. And then a flat bottom wooden spoon that helps stir it and keep it off the bottom. And then here's another lucky thing. So my mom always made her fudge and put it in the broiler pan that comes with the oven. And I've tried other pans, and you know what? This is my tradition. I'm going to stick with it. Now, why did they call it Millionaire Fudge? Well, it used to be in the olden days, fudge was something you made out of the staples in your pantry, sugar, and maybe some cream, and, butter, and cocoa. And then it kind of evolved. We use marshmallow cream, and it's part of a caramelizing process. So, one of the things is using brown sugar. I can't just rely on the color. I have to stick closely to the timing, and I'll explain that to you later. So, Millionaire Fudge was named because everybody got all hoity-toity, and, butter became expensive because margarine was out, and you cannot use margarine. It just won't work, and it tastes like... So, you had to buy real Nestle's chocolate chips. Well, you know what? That's all they had in that day. Now you can choose any kind of semi-sweet chocolate chips you want, as long as it's 12 ounces, broken up, ready to go in the pan. And Hershey's was the same way. Adding Hershey's chocolate, so you had 2 dark chocolate, milk chocolate, and then, whoops, hang on. 1 pint of marshmallow cream. So that's 2 of these. Well, that's a whole lot more than we used to put in. And so it costs a lot of money. And we only did it at Christmas because, you know what, it cost a lot of money. And so we rationed it out. And nowadays, Millionaire Fudge, you could really spend $1 million on a good chocolate. So we're going to get busy. I'm going to show you how to make this. And there's secrets to that. And I'm going to show my son because, he can pass this down to his kids too. All right, here we go. So I'm going to advise you to get everything ready before you go. Find a little bowl and put in your chocolate chips in this bowl. Find one like that. Get this torn open. Don't eat any either, because you can always eat fudge when it's done. Oh, where's that knife? They make packages so different now. Okay. Put them in the bowl. The reason we're doing this is because you have to be ready as soon as the main milk and butter and sugar mixture gets to the rolling boil after 10 minutes. You take it off and you gotta throw this stuff in and melt it and stir it, and it's done, but you gotta move fast. So the nuts, and then I'm gonna suggest, if you are having a bad day, right before Christmas, this is going to be like a 25-minute process. If you get everything laid out, it goes pretty fast, but you got to break up these. You got to break up these candy bars. So slap these suckers on the counter. Crack that. Why didn't that package come today? I can't believe it. I'm going to fire those elves. They didn't get it done. Oh, look, there's still some glitter from making my COVID decorations. It's all over the house. It's flying all over. Oh, be gone, glitter. Okay, so that's 8.5. So we need, there we have to do math, because now I've got 4.5 and I need 1.5. So we got to open this whole baby up. Well, Fred's going to like that because I'll let him munch on this. I won't, because I want to save my calories. And then, so there's how many sections? 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so one section is about enough. Well, maybe I'll put in one extra square just in case. Who knows? I'll just do that. Anyway, I'm just going to throw all this in to the same bowl as my chocolate chips, because they're all going to go at the same time. And the more prepared we are, the better. And if you have it broken up, it's going to melt faster. And, you get that marshmallow cream in. So I'm going to get that marshmallow cream opened and ready with my spatula. That's the only thing I don't have out. Then I'll meet you at the store. So now you can see the setup. everything's right here as I'm going to need it. I'm going to start with the milk, butter, and sugar and put them in the pan and start stirring on medium heat. So then everything else is on the table, ready to go in, and stir it up and pour straight into the pan. So here we go. Well, I'm going to start now. And so I've got 2 cameras going. I can talk to you straight here. And then my other camera's going to be taking pictures of what I'm doing. Oh, it's going to be a mix for sure. Okay, so you turn on your heat to medium. And now if you have an electric stove, you've got to be really careful because it can be, like this. So you've got to be right on it and know what your stove will do. If you've got gas, I know a few cures for that. Well, if you've got a gas stove, you can moderate it more. You don't want it to come up to a rolling boil too fast. It's a process and it takes patience. And I'm going to tell you why I love making my fudge recipe. It's for more reasons than one. It's a delight in many ways. Okay, turning on my heat. Light, baby. Oh, there it did. It lit. Okay. Now, when mine says medium, remember, I can't see very well, so I'm going to have to look down. Right on medium. Pour that milk in. So what I do is I pour the milk in, and I get that in there first, because it's unlikely to burn right away. And then I get my butter in there, and I don't put it into cubes or anything like that, Martha Stewart says to do stuff like that. I go, well, okay, Martha. I like having a little butter boat, and we just let it swim, and start melting that. As soon as the butter and the milk are combined, it doesn't take too long for that butter to melt, because it's the real stuff. It's a good reason to use the real stuff. As soon as that's melted, we're ready just to pour in the sugar, and you don't have to do it by cupful or anything. You just pour it in. And so what I was talking about is usually when you start with this, when we're using that I'm going to turn it down just a little bit because it feels like mine's a little high. And that's because years of making. I've been making it for 50 years. 50 years this year. So when we used to use anemic colored butter and not this Kerrygold, the milk and the butter have a certain color. And then you add in white sugar. And then when you get it to a certain stage, and it's, the candy making stage, well, usually there's a color that I understand it's time to take it off. Besides, it's been on for 10 minutes. I'm pretty much a stickler for keeping with the timing. So now I butter. Look how fast that was. Here we go. Here goes the sugar. Now adding this dark sugar is going to darken the mixture already. So this will be a surprise for Nettie. I've never done this. I think it's going to be a richer flavor. I just have that feeling. So we stir it, and you can feel that it's granulated. You can, stickies. And another way of knowing that your pan might be a little bit too hot is if you're stirring and some of the mixture splashes, it kind of burned to the side of this, and then it also sizzles. Well, you don't need that. If it's slow enough, it's going to melt, and the sugar's going to dissolve in good time. And then it takes a few minutes for it to come up to a boil. Now, I was going to talk to you about why I like doing this. When it's time to make the fudge, it's usually a couple days before. My mom would make it ahead of time and wrap it all up. You got to keep it in airtight, containers, and she would put it in tins, but she'd wrap it good in cellophane with wax paper between each layer, and then aluminum foil, and then the pans, and put it down in the basement refrigerator. Oh, I remember how cold it was in the basement, and we'd get to run down and sneak a piece of fudge, and it'd be cold, and there's some memories to this. And that's the one thing I love about this. There are so many memories attached to this dish, and I know everybody's got them. Some are cinnamon rolls and different kinds of cookies. And I love sugar cookies with frosting in them. And I love onion dip. We love onion dip. And little smokies on Christmas Eve. But when I'm making the fudge, I think of my grandma and my auntie and my mommy. They all made it first, and they all made it for their families. And then, they tweaked the recipe a little bit, and we'd always know which ones was my mom's, because it was always the best, because it came home with us. But I remember what went into making that fudge if I was helping my mom or coming home from school, because we didn't get out so early. We didn't get out until maybe sometimes the 20th or the 23rd. And we'd come home and there would be the fudge tins sitting on the counter, or maybe the fudge, because you pour it into the pan, you kind of let it sit and come to room temperature. Then you cover it really good and put it in the refrigerator so that when you go to slice it, you can get nice clean slices. Oh, see, can you see that? That's a pretty dark color. But it's beautiful. See if I can turn on the light. Only one of these works. Well, that's the fan. Don't need the fan now. I'm not going to burn anything. Okay. So, gotta watch the heat. Now, some people would say use a thermometer, but this has worked all the time. The other reason I couldn't do it yesterday, because we've been having storms. I mean, it flooded here. And so, you don't want it to... there's something about the humidity that can just ruin the fudge, the texture, and makes it all gooey. And once it's gooey, it's gone. So back to the memories. With my mom and dad gone, and my grandma and grandpa gone, my aunt and uncle are still here, but she doesn't make the fudge anymore. I think I might be the only one that does it. And this is the first year. This is the first year in a long time, because my family got pretty healthy eating paleo, and not too many people would eat it. So I kind of stopped for a while and said, tradition's important, but if it's a tradition that where the food goes to waste, come up with a different tradition. So we started coming up with things like salami and cream cheese and pepperoncinis and things that you could have and not feel too guilty about on your program. But this year's so different. Don't you think we need some of the memories of childhood, the good ones, to help us through the season when we're going to be alone? And this year, instead of moping because my parents aren't there, I have the opportunity to mope because my kids aren't going to be here, or my grandkids. But I don't think I'm going to, because I am making the fudge, and it freezes well. It freezes so well you can put it in little containers and Ziplocs if you need to, and put it in the freezer and bring it out on Valentine's Day. And every once in a while a frozen piece of fudge isn't too bad. So I'm making it anyway. Like I decorated the tree anyway. And I ordered Fred and me some Christmas jammies. Anything to make it as normal as possible, because even though the people aren't here, the memories are there. And this will become a memory, right? We will remember. I'll remember making fudge for you and passing on a recipe that means so much. So I'm making it anyway. We'll enjoy it on Christmas Day and leave a bit out for New Year's. And it's so sweet, we don't eat too much anymore anyway. It's starting to come to a little bit of a boil. As soon as the whole pot, make sure I don't have my heat on too high. Yeah. As soon as it starts rolling, we'll set the timer. I'm gonna have Siri do it. So now here, you see the flat bottom spoon that keeps the bottom moving around. And every once in a while I scrape the sides, but you don't worry about that too much. Stir, stir, stir. What do you remember that when you think back, or, what my cousin and I used to do gift exchange, and we only spent $1. And it seemed like the last few years before we left our parents' homes and went off to college and such, we bought each other a bag of M&Ms. It was a treat. We didn't eat lots of candy. And so after all the presents were open and we'd go into her room and talk about boys and the Beatles and the monkeys, we'd munch on our M&Ms. So we still have some M&M jokes. And our tradition of having Santa Claus come on Christmas Eve was pretty fun. We'd hide in the den and sing Christmas carols, and somehow Santa Claus knew to stop at our house first. And then we'd hear the jingle bells. Where did they come from? And we'd run out on the front porch, and there were our stockings filled in our Santa Claus gifts sitting on the front porch. Oh, it was so much fun. It was my cousins and us. There were 7 of us eventually. And then after all the presents were opened, we had our treats, all the food. And one of my favorites is onion dip and chips, and I fill my plate with that, and black olives, and oh, goodies, just goodies. Because we'd always have eaten something small before we left, and so it was snack time. Okay. Hey Siri, set the timer for 10 minutes, please.
10 minutes, counting down.
He's such a good boy. You know, he's the next best thing to Jimmy. I ask him to do things and he does it. So what I'm going to do, now we set the time for 10 minutes and I have to sit here and stir. And it might seem like a long, long time, and it would be if I just sat here and talked. But what I'm going to do is turn off my camera and bask in my memories. Just me and my fudge. And appreciate it. And think about my grandma and my grandpa and my mom and my dad, and the fact that maybe they're up there watching this and seeing me carrying on the tradition. It makes me weepy, so I'm going to turn off the camera. Hey Siri, stop. Thank you, Siri. Okay, Siri's off now. Here we go. So now we turn off the heat. Turn off the heat. Pour in the chocolate. Really fast. Get that marshmallow cream out of here. Get that in there really fast. Scrape it with this. Always have a spatula ready. Get it in there. Get the most of it in there and start stirring. There we go. Okay, here we go. Oh boy. I've got to move really fast, and this is so sticky. I'm going to put my spoon down there. I use a silicone spoon there because it won't burn the spoon if I put it in there. And so I can scrape the rest of this out because you get so much of it out at the end. So here we go. This is exciting. This is the exciting part. I'm going to have to call Fred in here in a minute. As soon as I get this all stirred up. So there's my marshmallow cream. And let's get the nuts in there. Then we start stirring like crazy. Stir, stir, stir. Watch this. Just watch this stir. Oh, the magic is happening. Millionaire Fudge. And boy, is it sure much darker batter. Well, whatever you call it. The base is so much darker because I use that raw sugar. And it won't make any difference because it's just sugar. It's just not been bleached or whatever they do to it. Not refined as well. Now to me, this is looking a little goopy. And it could still be too humid for this recipe, but we'll see. We're going to stir this up really good. Nice big chunks of, oh, look at that. See, you really want to do it till all the chocolate is melted. And I think that's going to help thicken it a little bit. But, you know, who cares if it's hot? It's so good. There we go. It's melting good. Oh, you know, actually it's starting to look pretty good. Now, when you used to make the Hershey's cocoa fudge, you'd have to beat it and make it really shiny. But this kind of just gets a shine of its own because of the butter and the whatever. I'm just making that up. Okay, I'm going to call Fred. Fred! This is the part he has to help me with because this is heavy. Fred! He's coming. He's coming. He's a good helper. Fred! Hey, Fred!
Yeah?
Okay, could you get to hot pads? Because this is your part now. You remember this is where you help me. So...
I thought that's when I ate it.
Well, you know you do help me when you eat it because it keeps me from eating it. Okay, here we go. So you're going to hold on to these little dooley boppers and we're going to scrape it like we always do. And so you got to stay out of the camera because you know you're so sure. Okay, so hold on tight because I'm going to scrape hard. Let's start down here. Start down here. Tip it more. Okay, you're seeing the bottom of the pan, but you can see what I'm doing, right? Maybe I should have you go the other way. Let's trade places so they can see it coming out of the pan. You know, we don't choreograph this stuff. You just got to do it. Use your imagination. Tilt it just a little bit more. Who's going to lick this pan, Fred?
I'll volunteer.
This is what he has to do. Well, you can't even see that. There, see there?
I'll take one for the
Use
team.
your imagination. You saw the whole thing get dumped in there. I'm going to leave a little bit of it in there for you.
Oh.
Now, all we do is spread it, just like this. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? Fred, isn't that beautiful? It is beautiful. I think it's going to turn out perfect. It's a perfect consistency. Oh, Fred! We made it. We did it. Okay. Oh my goodness. It's yummy, Fred. Here's a spoon. You can finish licking the spoon.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you, Fred.
Yep.
He's got his mouth full, but it's perfect. We poured it out in the pan, and it's a perfect consistency. So, you know what? Fred's over here licking the pan. And, you know, he earned that by helping me. He has to hold the pan for me because it's so heavy. Good morning. It's Christmas Eve, and it's time to cut the fudge up. It's been in the refrigerator overnight. So we're just going to get this going. I'm just going to make a taste test for Fred. And you can see right here. It's official that once it sets up at room temperature, that you can taste it before you put it away. Just wrap it really good. I used two kinds. I used press and seal, aluminum foil. No air can get to it. And this is what I use to cut it with because you can get straight lines. And it's just kind of easy, see? And then it keeps it clean. So we're getting the big honking knife out. And, you know, I kind of do this, use this just to get the lines set. And I cut them in about 1-inch pieces because it lasts a lot longer that way. Just like that. So then you take that little knife and just slide it around the pan. And then cut. And if you get a little boo-boos, eat them. Don't have to be perfect. They're going to go in your mouth. Especially this year. We don't have company coming. We don't care. You know, Martha Stewart, she admits it. She has mistakes all the time. Nobody's going to be here. On December 25, we'll zoom, zoom, zoom. On December 25, no family in this room. The beast will roast, no one to host. We'll all be on the Zoom. We'll all be on the Zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. Okay, Fred. Taste time. Oh, are you ready, Freddie? Look at what I got for you. You gonna try it? Well, Fred, you gotta take your mask off.
Let's see.
Is it yummy? Oh. Get that mask off.
Fit.
Get the mask off. Take a little bite, honey. I'm gonna get some too. I'm gonna get one with a lot of almonds in it. It's my favorite. How about if we get a picture of each other?
Feliz Navidad.
Merry Christmas, and whatever he said. We hope you have a wonderful Christmas day and a wonderful holiday season. And we'll see you before the new year, but just know we love you. We're so happy to be with you on this special day. Bye-bye now. Feliz Navidad. Feliz Navidad. On December 25, we'll zoom, zoom, zoom. On December 25, no family in this room. The beast will roast, no one to host. We'll all be on the Zoom. We'll all be on the Zoom. Zoom, zoom, zoom. You know, if you want to see more of these educational videos from Nettie, then Nettie will be around for a long time. Well, please subscribe. Bye.